In Islam, we believe it is recommended, but it's not obligation.
No, but if you look at all of them,
It's not
if
an obligation. That means if
no,
you don't want to do it, if you
no,
have the capacity not to do it.
but if you look at if you look at the Catholic Church, they are encouraged to have lots of children.
Yeah, Christianity maybe, but I'm saying Islam. Yeah.
If you look at our friends in Stamford Hill, they're also having too many children.
But what would be like? I will just wanted to say that in Islam it's not obligation, but I also want to ask, what do you find the problem with having children, for example, personally? What is
Religion.
no, having children?
No, it's a luxury, not a
Do you
choice
have
or a
children
right.
yourself?
No, I don't
Okay,
want children.
okay.
I'm quite happy with 2 horses and 2 cats.
Some people they want to have children, right? Many
No,
people,
no,
women, for example, especially because it's a part of them.
women are biologically tuned
Yes,
to want to have babies,
yes.
and the majority of women do want to have children.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
That is true.
So do you think we should rob them from that freedom?
I think that
We wouldn't be born if we didn't have children. We wouldn't be here as
No,
well.
that is true.
Yeah.
But the problem is,
Yes.
of course, I understand that there's a human desire to have children. Yes, I
Yeah.
understand that for most people.
Yes. Yes.
And women definitely they have a cycle, a hormonal balance. Where they get
I
sort of
understand.
desperate.
I understand.
Desperate.
I understand. Yeah.
But
They have an expiry date. If you put it
well,
in
they have an expiry date
in
as
very
well.
like basic
do have an
terms. Yeah.
expiry date.
In basic terms, non-offending terms. I'm not trying to offend.
They do have.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not offended by
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, the problem is, so that's, and also you can't micromanage the human race.
Yes.
But if you look at the human race as a whole around the world, it is depressing what
Yeah.
we're doing. I think
That's why I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying I'm doubting that you're saying we're the most intelligent species. I'm doubting it, person.
no, there is an argument to say that we are, on the one hand, we're super intelligent and we're science clever in our science and everything. On the other hand, we are crazy.
In a sense,
We
we
do
are.
crazy things to each
In
other.
a sense, we are. In a sense, we are. So, just the point you said, the problem with the religion, right? So, if you see that problem you mentioned about that having children,
That's just no.
one problem. It's one problem.
minor problem. But
Yeah, but it's not in Islam. Do you have any other problems in
no.
Islam?
I was brought up with our religion, and my father used to tell me religion is for the weak, and I believe that.
Christianity, you mean?
All religion.
What? No, but can I ask a simple question, right? And would you agree with me in a rational basis? Can I say that there is a fallacy in logic called the fallacy of generalization, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Fallacy of generalization entails that you look at.
There is some truth in generalization.
Sorry.
There is truth in generalization. You
Oh.
can generalize about people when there is truth in it.
It can be true. I agree.
Yes.
Like you can say, like you don't have to give examples, anyways. It's a simple concept, right? We can say generally all men are different than women, right? Of course, yeah, they are different than women in a sense.
That is one. You are absolutely true when you
Yeah.
say all men are different to women. And
Yeah.
one of the frustrating things about one thing that frustrates me over it is political correctness is trying to somehow diminish the differences between men and women, and they shouldn't.
Yeah,
be
yeah, of
diminished.
course, that's a topic we can come to as well. But I was coming to the generalization of religion. That's separate. This here, you cannot have a true generalization. I'll tell you why. Because that claim requires one thing. You looking actually and studying these religions and what do you have to say. If I do that, then I'm able to actually generalize a thing. Would you agree with me? If I have not read throughout the Quran, if I have not read the Christian tradition,
I've never read any of these religions.
oh yeah. So
myself.
how would you just tell me honestly? How can I generalize on something I have never read?
Well, look, if you take religion as a whole, you can take.
For example, sorry to cut you. You said one thing was general about having children, and I showed you it's not general true. So I'm giving you an example.
No.
So you go
I
ahead.
mean,
Yes.
human nature is very complicated. So if you take religion, there are good things to religion. So but there are also terrible things about religion. So you take often in religious.
Can I just say one thing? I'm defending me personally. Yeah, maybe I haven't said, but I'm Muslim, right?
I can see.
Yeah. So I'm defending Islam. So what do you find personally with Islam? I would just with our religion, right? Because Christianity, I have a lot of problems as well, like you. In other religions, I have other
No,
problems. But with Islam specifically,
Take the Muslim religion. You have
Yeah, please, yeah.
All. You have one extreme to the other.
give me an example. For what do you mean by that?
So you talk at one end, you have the sort of the more moderate forms of Islam, where people integrate into society very well, and are accepting of people's differences.
where do you get that idea from?
Well, it's true. If you
No,
look
but
around the country,
but would you agree with me? And I think you're a very rational person, right? Do you agree with me if I make a claim, I should support it with evidences?
do you agree with
If
what?
I make a claim, I should support it with evidences. Do you agree?
But also your gut feeling can tell you things. So
Yeah, but I mean about things that are literature, for example. If I say something is within a specific
but
literature,
the problem is,
because I disagree
with the
kind of about the
Quran-
moderate, I disagree with it.
so you
I
don't
personally.
think Muslims are moderate?
I think no, I don't think there's a moderate and extreme. That's what I'm
There
saying.
is.
Yeah, can I explain what I mean by that? I understand who you're talking about, but can I explain? When you say Muslims behaving, right? There is moderate and extreme. I agree. Behavior of Muslims, but I'm defending the idea of Islam, which I believe is perfect, right? The religion aspects of it. Individuals, I will be the first person to be with you. There's a lot of problems in Muslims. I'll be the first person with you standing in the line, right?
Okay, so-
I mean the idea of Islam. That's what I'm
But
referring
there's
to.
a difference. But the
It's just
problem
one
is
idea.
That's true, but
Yeah.
the people interpret things in different ways.
Does
So-
Islam give a solution for that?
I don't know.
It does.
But let me say, let me take you to um, um,
Example?
a good example of where religion has an often. If you take human sexuality, for example,
Okay.
which every man.
I don't know why everyone likes to talk about controversial topics.
Because it shouldn't be controversial.
Yeah. Sorry?
It shouldn't be controversial.
Yeah, I don't disagree
So,
with you. I agree,
if
but
you
I
take-
mean, why I don't people like because I spoke to the previous person maybe and the two previous people spoke about the same thing. So it's like everyone wants to.
If you take,
Yeah, go ahead.
if
Yeah.
you take
Yes.
a man's sexuality,
Yes.
if he's honest with himself,
Okay.
nobody's sexuality is as different as your fingerprint.
I don't
Your
understand.
sexuality is as different as your best friend's sexuality. Is very different to your best friend.
Do you mean because so there is a separation that is common about between sex and gender, yeah, which is they say that sex-wise there's two types, right, which male and female scientifically,
Yes.
and then general identity, which is probably maybe you're trying gender identity, sorry,
I'm talking
gender
about men's
identity.
sexuality.
It depends on what you mean by that because I don't understand.
Well,
The tendencies, their what they like and what they don't like sexually, preferences,
yes.
preferences.
There's a
Yeah.
full range. If you take,
Yeah, you can have sexual preferences. I agree. Yeah, you can have
so
different sexual
you
preferences.
take if you have one end you have a straight man and the other end you have a gay man.
Yeah.
Most people are somewhere in between.
I personally would disagree. As me, as a man, like you just, of course, for me at least, as you could be, I would say
you
it's
want to
just,
disagree,
yeah.
but many men are.
No, but then now you're making judgment about me. Just, I
No,
can
no,
say
no.
you also like it's not. I want to disagree. I know that for sure.
You know what you are, maybe.
Yes,
You might know.
I
what
know.
you are.
I want as well.
You might know what you want, but if you take, I mean, it could be something as simple as this. So you have two men, both like women, yes, and they could be two best friends.
That thing in the middle. Sorry, that thing in the middle. Some people refer to it as bisexual.
Bisexual somewhere in the middle.
So that's what you're referring to, right?
No,
But
but I'm talking about a full range. So if you take,
but bisexual is in the middle, isn't it? Refer
well,
the,
it's sort of in the middle.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I'm saying it's in the middle.
Yeah.
You have opposite, but if you let's just say. Okay, so you've identified three sexualities. You've got straight, middle, bi, and gay. The majority of men are somewhere at the straight end of the spectrum, but they're no men are the same.
I think that's another generalization, right? And
No,
I think
that is true.
Okay, can you give me evidence for that?
If you think about, I mean, just it's understanding your sexuality is. A lot of men don't even understand this. So if you take,
But that's not this.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll let you finish.
So if you go in, if you've got two best friends, they both like women.
Okay.
One of the men, one of your friends, one of you could be really dominant in bed with a woman, and the other could be the absolute opposite and want the woman to dominate him. And that in itself is a difference in sexuality.
That's I'm saying that's a sexual preference, right? But I agree with.
It's still
I
a
agree.
variant on your sexuality.
I agree. There might be yes sexual preferences, but maybe what I'm disagreeing with, which is not making clear, it's not like there is a man who's. This is what I'm trying to say. 80% inclining to women, and 20% inclined to man. That's what I meant. I disagree with that personally. Unless you want to say you put him on the bisexual kind of goal. But I'm saying if someone is straight, that's what I'm trying to say. He's 0% inclined sexually to men, 100% inclined sexually to women. That's what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes, but there's still a lot of things in the middle.
Yeah, okay, I understand that. I understand that. People can have sexual preferences, right? And you would agree with me there's a lot of wrong sexual preferences like bestiality or incest or
One of the- let me
or
tell you what is the dividing line. The dividing line is when it's not consenting and when something isn't consenting
So-
and understanding.
sorry?
The
Okay,
dividing
let's
line-
use can I use your principle? If there is no consent and understanding. A brother and a sister, consenting, understanding, taking the measurements to not have no children. Is that okay?
That's your
Brother and a sister
Yes,
having intercourse together,
yes.
they are using all preventions, they are consenting and they're happy with each other. Still wrong.
Is it?
Of course it is. Are you saying now that incest is okay?
I tell you why. Let me just say, put it another
Are
way.
you saying incest is okay? I'm trying to understand. Are you saying it's okay to have intercourse with your own mother? With your daughter?
I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is,
Because I'm
Society-
seeing society going very bad when it comes to that. That's why I'm making this.
Society-
This is a red line now, yeah?
no, but
To me.
society
Yes.
dictates that it's wrong.
No. Now we're talking about subjective morality. Okay, let's talk about subjective and objective morality. Do you believe morality is just a figment of the mind?
Morality
Subjective
is
means
about-
meaning it depends on the human mind. That is what is right or wrong.
Morality is. Well, morality covers a whole wide range of issues, but we all.
Is it dependent on humans? Because subjectivity. I'll explain what I mean to clarify. Means that something is only wrong because an individual thinks that action is wrong. But if the individual was not there, that action is just an action. There is no right or wrong in it.
There,
Is that what you're saying?
what I'm saying is, well, we.
Right and wrong is dependent on you, your ideas, your understandings. This is subjective morality.
No. Human nature is much more complicated than that.
No, I'm saying there is. What I'm trying to say is, if there is no humans on planet Earth, I'm giving an example from an Islamic point of view. If there is no humans on planet Earth, right? Raping an innocent woman is still wrong.
Of course, it's wrong because
Okay,
you're forcing yourself.
but why
on
is it
somebody.
wrong? In your
In
understanding,
my understanding, the reason why I believe that rape is wrong is because it's when a man or a woman forces himself on somebody else, it has to be wrong.
why?
Why? Because you then got two not consenting adults.
So what?
That is wrong.
Why is it wrong? Your society told you that. What if a different society tells you it's not?
Well, you're getting into the road of.
No, I'm getting now to subjective and objective. I'll tell you, look, if you do not have a moral code that is objective outside of your personal ideas and understandings, then it's just your
moral
personal
code-
opinion.
The moral code of the United Kingdom, or the laws of the United Kingdom.
Just only in
give
the
you
United Kingdom.
guidance.
Only
No,
in the United Kingdom.
Every country has a different moral code.
No. Have you been to? Yeah. That's agree. So I'm saying in some countries, or in some people who live in jungles and things like that, it would be okay, can be okay for them to rape a woman, in their culture.
Yeah, they think it's right. But
Yeah. So I'm okay. What is the basis that we are saying, people in the UK, that is wrong? What is the evidences that we can tell them what you're doing is wrong and what we're saying is right?
Over hundreds of years, our laws in this country have developed and changed.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say
Changed.
as well. Yeah.
And in this country, we are guided by our laws.
How do you know now is better than it used to be?
Well, again, that is subjective because.
So that's the issue I'm trying to say. If it's subjective, right, then you cannot really say something is right or wrong. It's just depending on what you think at the time.
But one of the things is, for a society, for life to be good and society to be good in the United Kingdom, we need to all get on with each other, no matter
Sure.
who we
Now
are.
you're talking about the outcome and the consequence, practicality of it. But I'm just talking about the idea, right? I'll explain what I mean, right? For example, I'll give you the alternative in the Islamic understanding, right? In Islam, we believe humans are subjective beings, right? In their emotions, understandings. You can have something subjectively think about something and it can be wrong. can think, you can have emotions for someone. It can be wrong, right? So there is a lot of wrong things that we do because we are deficient human beings. So we need a code, a moral command that is outside of our understanding and our ideas that are different. That we have arrogance. You don't accept my opinion, I don't accept your opinion, etc. So if we have a moral code that comes from an entity, whatever the entity is, and that code is objective.
But is it not true that really a religion is politics?
Again,
Yes.
again, generalization.
Is it a
But-
generalization?
yes.
Is it not true that a religion is really politics under another name?
Not Islam. Is it politics to tell you to cut your nails, how to eat food, how what is the right
Well,
way
it could
to?
be.
How is it? Tell me.
Well, the politics of this country they invade your life to some degree, but in other countries, the politics of a dictatorship.
You believe in anarchy?
Do I believe in anarchy? No.
Should we have zero laws?
No, it is a good thing that society has laws. Yes,
So
it is.
there must be restrictions on humans because look, you might be a good person, right? Another person might not be a good person. You might
Plenty
want.
of bad people.
Yeah, that's it. So then we must have what
But
we
also
call.
men are all hypocrites.
Thank you, I agree. So we must have what we call a law.
Were you born here?
I'm born in Austria,
Austria. And what is your background?
Egyptian and Moroccan, half and half.
Well, I was in Morocco last February. The greatest place I've ever been.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
And I
Also,
think-
Egypt is beautiful.
What?
Also, I'm saying also Egypt is beautiful. Yeah.
I have not been to Egypt, but
Yeah.
when I was in Morocco last year, I had the time of my life.
Ah.
And I tell you now, one of the great things about Morocco was the freedom I saw.
Oh, okay.
So,
Can I say one thing on that? Another subjective term. Someone's freedom can be another person's restrictions. Right. So I don't. To me, look, as anyone can use subjective terms, right? We can disagree. You can say this, but in reality, there's still a real reality exists, right? So we need to kind of look at reality. Is there really something which is correct, something which is wrong? In reality, leaving aside human beings and their if there is before human beings existed on planet Earth, there was still things that are objectively right or wrong. Would you agree? Just like raping a woman, like I said, for example.
the animal kingdom has some rules. Of its
No, before
own.
the animal kingdom as well.
So what was that?
I'm saying if there was no animal kingdom or humans or anything, any life on planet Earth, right? Is it still wrong, the concept of invading yourself on other people or raping a woman, stealing the money for other people, killing innocent people?
It's a very deep conversation.
Now we say as Muslims, what is wrong is always wrong. It does not matter what people here think, right? It's not our understanding. We're not the ones who
Okay,
decide it.
But in religion,
Islam or religions? Always when you generalize, I will tell you.
they all have peculiarities.
Look, someone who actually read religious scripture is an advocate of not generalizing. Why? When I read other scriptures, I saw that there is great differences between the texts. I cannot apply a general rule to everything.
For how long have you been a very religious man?
Since I was 19, 20,
And
something
your
like that.
family?
My family,
Less so.
some. Depends on the people, yeah.
Your mother and father?
This is just personal questions. I would not like to basically share them
You
in
don't
public.
have to- you just
Share
have
them
to-
in public.
What I'm trying to
Yeah.
say.
Some of them are, as I said, some of them are not as much as the
Because-
others. And that's in every family, by the way, right? That's in every family. So I have people very close in my family that are not, for example, practicing, right? The point is this. Why did I start practicing? That's what you should ask, right? That's the question. I researched. I was born in a family, right, which is a Muslim family, right? That Muslim family gives you some religious book to read, which is called the Quran. They tell you that's from God. When I read that religious scripture, do you know what it tells me? Do not just follow what you're born in. Maybe your ancestors were not guided. Maybe they didn't know. Do not just follow as a blind follower. Research, study. So what I did, I researched Christianity, I researched Hinduism, I look at Sikhism, I look at the major religions, Buddhism, so I can know whether Islam is true as it claims to be true or not.
Why did you suddenly become so interested in all these religions?
The beginning point, the turning point you're asking, I thought about death. One day, which is what people hate to think about.
You're too young to think about death.
Not really. It depends on. look, the mentality of a person or the wisdom of a person is not restricted to his age. That's something outside, personally, yeah? If someone thinks that, then he did not deal with enough people in his life. I thought about death, yeah? I realized, look, we are humans. We live. Are we going to live forever? No. Okay, what do I want in my life? I want to be president, yeah? Or it's not, it's too big, yeah? Let's say I want to be I'm working in a company, I want to be the boss. Okay, I'm the boss, what next? I want to buy a wife, okay. I want to get a wife. I want to buy a car. I want to do this. I want to become the president. What next?
Are you happy?
Of course, 100%.
That's all that matters.
No, I disagree.
You're happy.
Because I don't follow because I'm happy.
If you're
I follow
happy-
because it's the truth.
If you're happy and you respect others, that's all
Happiness
that
is a
matters.
consequence of what I follow.
No. It's a
That's what I
state of
believe.
mind.
I'm speaking about me now.
Happiness is a state of mind.
No.
Yes.
Can I tell you something about the Quran? Yeah. Quran never mentions happiness in this life fully. Do you know why?
Yes, but it's a,
Because it's temporary. You're happy for one day. You're upset for the next day. Are you happy? You've been happy all your life, every day?
my life is good.
No, every day, every single day.
Yes.
You never been upset in your life.
Well.
Let's be honest with
no.
ourselves. Like it's
Only
temporary.
Very few days in my whole life.
Okay,
have I
but it's
been-
temporary. That proves temporary.
No, because if you think about it, it is the chemical balance in your mind.
So can I rape someone because I'm happy? Okay, so the right and wrong is the key point. It's
No.
not just what makes me happy. Okay, some people, you would agree with me, are pedophiles and they believe they're happy if they have an intercourse